Hey baby girl, here we have my lovely friend Yessi, and I'm doing her makeup for a birthday dinner. If you like to learn how I brought her from that to that, then keep watching. Yessi wanted her makeup very natural, and you know I had to throw in a dash of glam. I'll take it back to the beginning. Her skin was prepped before filming. Yessi has really good skin, so I don't think I did anything more than tone her face with rose water. Here I'm just applying almond oil. I really love applying almond oil or jojoba oil under cream foundation. And you already know, I like to begin with the brows. I used a spoolie to comb the hairs in place, then used a Jordana pencil in medium brown to fill them in. I didn't want to make them too dark because she naturally has light brows. I begin by shaping the bottom and the arch and drawing hair-like strokes at the head of the brows. Then I used a spoolie to disperse the product and blend it out so it's not so harsh. Now I'm using a MAC Studio Finish Concealer in NC20 to clean them up. Ideally, I only shape the bottom of the brows as opposed to shaping the top with concealer too. It works out if the client's brows were done beforehand, and it gives a much more natural look. I went ahead and took that concealer down to her lids to serve as the eyeshadow base. For her eyeshadow, I'm beginning with a medium brown color in her crease to act as a transition shade. I'm using a pencil brush to apply it and a fluffier pencil brush to blend it out. Next, I'm taking a darker brown and packing that on the outer V and blending it out into the crease. With a flat eyeshadow brush, I'm taking a shimmery pink pigment and packing that onto her lid. Then I'm just blending it out into the crease and outer V to get a nice gradient effect going on. Then I used a cream highlighter to highlight her brow bone. Next, I'm using a gel liner to line her eyes. Given her eye shape, I wanted to keep the line pretty thin. I felt like it was a little too thick on the outer corner, so I smudged it out and blended it into the outer V color. I was totally okay with that because it gave the eye look even more dimension. For the lashes, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure they were Ardell Wispies because those are typically my go-to. For the base, I used Danessa Myricks Vision Covered Cream. I mixed 5 and 6 for the foundation and used the NC20 matte concealer to highlight her face. I used a pointy part of my sponge to blend the highlight and a fluffy concealer brush for any hard-to-reach areas like the corners of her nose. I highlighted under her eyes, the bridge of her nose, the middle of her forehead, and the middle of her chin. Pretty much any area that light naturally hits her face. And I just keep blending until I don't see any lines and until that highlight color is blended back into the foundation color underneath. To contour, I used a black Opal cream foundation in the shade Beautiful Bronze. I'm pretty much using it as a cream bronzer. I placed the color in the hollows of her cheeks, the perimeter of her forehead, and the side of her nose. I used a dense brush to blend it out. And same drill, just really blending it back into that foundation color underneath. Rather than place the color directly on her jawline, I blended the other areas and used whatever was left on my brush to warm that area up. That keeps it from looking too harsh. To blend her nose contour, I started with a fluffy pencil brush, then used the pointy part of my sponge that I used to blend her highlight to further blend it out and make it not so harsh. Now to set her face, I decided not to go with a setting powder and instead used a MAC Mineralize powder in medium golden. She was going to be taking pictures in a dark setting, and I did not want to risk the chance of a flashback. Also, I felt like her highlight was bright enough. The Laura Mercier would have brightened it even more, and this tinted powder kind of neutralized it. See, that looks way more natural to me. And I really try not to bronze with both a cream and a powder, mostly because that wastes time. But I really wanted to make sure that this base had some warmth to it, especially since I didn't add a blush. You'll notice that I only applied it to the cheeks and took whatever was left over on my brush down to the jawline because there was no need to warm her forehead again. Sometimes, when I really want to accentuate that contour, I'll take a dark powder, draw a line, and blend it out. Boom, cheekbones. And now for highlighting. I'm taking that cream highlighter and going ham. We're putting it on the high points of the cheeks, the bridge and tip of the nose, and even the center of the forehead. But we want this to look more like a glow from within instead of a highlighter, so blend that out too. And then we bathe her in MAC Fix Plus to mesh all these products together so I can add my finishing touches and be done. And there she is. I lined her bottom waterline with a brown pencil and added that medium brown Morphe eyeshadow and some mascara. And I went with a red lip, Dare You by MAC Cosmetics. I really hate seeing a glowy face in a matte body, so I'm putting some of my whipped shea butter on her body to get it to match. I am really happy with how this turned out. Yessi loved that it wasn't too overdone, and I loved how glowy she looked. I'll hit you with a before and after in just a second. And oh yeah, I used some RC & May no color powder to get rid of the shine around her nose. That stuff is a godsend. But here you have it, a beautiful before and a beautiful after. Thank you so much for watching, and please look out for next week's video. Bye, baby girl.